A 10th grader could be here.
We've done this survey now for 6 consecutive years, and we saw an overall trend of positive attitudes and perceptions by Hoosiers about public education for the first 4 years of the survey. Each year the numbers improved slightly, so we had a clear trend. But in 2007, the numbers dropped off a fair amount. People were growing pretty pessimistic about public education. It had reversed that trend over the first 4 years. Now in 2008, that trend is once again reversed. So it appears 2007 was a deviation from the norm, and so the numbers have returned to a somewhat stable overall viewpoint about public education, that citizens think public education, schools are excellent or good. About 54% this year had that perception about Indiana schools in general, and then that number increases to 63% for citizens about the schools in their local community, that they think schools are excellent or good.
Everybody, if I may have your attention, please.
Quite frankly, I'm a little surprised by that number, given that we've had a tough year nationally and within Indiana, economically, with the decline in our stock market, the decline of the auto industry, the financial markets, the housing markets. It's been a tough year for a lot of citizens, including people from Indiana, and we had just assumed that we would see another year of decline in attitudes and perceptions. So that's a good sign for public education and for teachers and educators, that citizens, despite all of the extraneous conditions, felt pretty good about public education. Now, clearly the numbers also suggest that there's room for improvement. They want to see schools continue to get better. More people felt that schools were improving than getting worse over the last 5 years, but most felt that schools were pretty much staying the same, not showing improvement or a decline in performance. We asked about 8 policy topics, how citizens view each of the 8 topics on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being most important, 1 being least important. So education did rank number 1. At 90% of our respondents felt that education ranked as an 8, 9, or 10, and again 10 being very important. The economy was second at 88%, healthcare was third, around 83%, and then higher education fourth. So we did identify the survey, when we were talking to citizens, that this was an education survey. So perhaps the fact that we identified this as an education survey could have boosted education above the economy, but they were very close as the top 2 issues. And in other polls, the economy is certainly number 1, education a close second or third. But more or less, education clearly is a high priority, very high priority for citizens, and these numbers support that. When we compare our students, high school students in Indiana nationally, most felt our students were in the middle as far as performance, not at the top nor at the bottom, but in the middle. But when we ask citizens about how our students compare internationally, then the people feeling our schools perform in the middle declined. It still was the most frequently selected option, 43%, but 37% of our respondents said that our students perform near the bottom, and that is a reason for concern. So although overall, when we ask about Indiana schools in isolation, there's a general positive attitude, the numbers do suggest that we need to show improvement, that citizens feel we can get better.